Have you ever thought about what the safest place in your home might be? Your medicine cabinet. A pill for a headache, a capsule for a cold. Something parents give their kids without thinking twice. Something that sits on a shelf for years. Now imagine this. September 29th, 1982, a suburb of Chicago. 12-year-old Mary Kellerman wakes up at dawn and walks into her parents' bedroom. She has a sore throat, a runny nose, just a common cold. Her mom opens the medicine cabinet, grabs a familiar bottle of Tylenol, and gives her daughter one capsule. A perfectly normal morning in a perfectly normal American family. At 7 a.m., the mom walks into the bathroom. Mary is lying on the floor, dead. The paramedics try to revive her, but they already know this isn't a stroke. This isn't a heart attack. This is something else, something they've never seen before. That same day, on the other side of Chicago, 27-year-old Adam Janis, a healthy guy who never complained about anything, is found dead in his own living room. And the next day, his brother and sister-in-law, devastated by grief, gather at his house. They talk about the funeral. They remember what a good person Adam was. Both of them start getting headaches. They open the kitchen cabinet, see a bottle of Tylenol, swallow one capsule each. 20 minutes later, the ambulance is racing back to the Janis house. On the kitchen floor lie two bodies. They will die in the same hospital as Adam, never regaining consciousness. 3 people from one family. In 2 days, from the same medication. Doctors are in panic. Police are baffled. And in pharmacies all across Chicago, thousands of identical Tylenol bottles sit on shelves. And no one knows how many more deaths are waiting for their buyers. Do you know what the scariest thing about poison is? Not how fast it kills, but how easy it is to hide. When toxicologists opened the capsules from those same bottles, they didn't just find medicine inside. Each capsule contained 65 milligrams of potassium cyanide. The lethal dose for an adult is 50 to 100 milligrams. For a 12-year-old kid, half of that is enough. Mary Kellerman, Adam Janis, his brother and sister-in-law, they all drank cyanide. Pure, concentrated, lethal, hidden inside cold capsules. The manufacturer, McNeil Consumer Products, panics and recalls batches of the drug. The recall costs $125 million. But it's too late. Over the next few days in the suburbs of Chicago, 6 more people die. All of them took Tylenol. All bought it from different stores. All dead. Authorities take to the streets with loudspeakers. Do not take Tylenol. Emergency news reports air on every channel. On the very first day, 700 people rush to just one hospital, Northwestern Memorial, convinced they've also been poisoned. Mass hysteria sweeps through Chicago, and the killer is still out there. The FBI joins the case. Hundreds of agents, the nation's top experts, an unprecedented investigation. The first theory, contamination at the factory. Maybe cyanide accidentally got into the capsules. Maybe some worker messed up. Experts inspect the company's plants. All batches are seized. Every capsule, every conveyor belt, every employee is examined. The result, not a single trace of cyanide at any production facility. The poison bottles came from different batches, made in different factories at different times. The only thing they had in common, they were all on store shelves in one area. The Chicago suburbs. Someone took them off the shelves, opened them, added poison to the capsules, and put them back. An invisible killer, a chemistry hobbyist, a madman with access to cyanide. Investigators create a profile. A middle-aged man. Works in the chemical or gold mining industry. Cyanide is used in gold mining. Lives in Chicago. They find a suspect, a 48-year-old chemist who worked at a warehouse where Tylenol was stored. They arrest him, search his home, find illegally stored weapons. But proof that he's the one, there is none, absolutely none. The suspect posts a $6,000 bond and walks free. The case hits another dead end. And then something happens that investigators have been waiting months for. Johnson & Johnson, the owner of the Tylenol brand, receives a letter, handwritten, no return address, on plain paper. In the letter, The unknown person demands $1 million to stop the poisonings. The FBI is electrified. This is the break they needed. Now they'll track him down by the handwriting, the paper, the envelope, but the letter is all they have. No fingerprints, no DNA evidence. They couldn't test for it back then anyway. No leads to the sender. Negotiations fall apart. The money is never delivered. The killer vanishes. There were no more poisonings. Not a single one. As if he had achieved what he wanted. Or just got bored playing. 7 people died. $125 million in losses. Thousands panicked. An entire industry, the pharmaceutical industry, changed forever. It was because of the Chicago Tylenol murders that the U.S. introduced tamper-evident packaging. Those seals we tear off every medicine bottle. Those caps you have to push and turn at the same time. All of it, a memorial to 7 dead people. But the killer's name remains unknown. Over all these years, since 1982, police have received thousands of tips. There have been dozens of suspects, but not a single arrest, not a single conviction, not a single name. There's only one theory that still keeps investigators up at night. The most likely suspect is James Lewis, a man who killed himself a few months after the poisonings. He was an accountant, had nothing to do with chemistry, but in his garage, they found a jar of cyanide. His wife had died from a Tylenol overdose shortly before the mass poisonings. Accident? Suicide? Or rehearsal? Lewis left a suicide note. In it, he confessed to killing his wife, but not a word about Tylenol. Police interrogated him before he died. He said nothing, took the secret to his grave. And now, when you look at old photos of those Tylenol bottles taken from stores, you think, who held them before they hit the shelves? Who opened the capsules, poured in the poison, sealed them back up, and put them back, knowing that tomorrow some mom would buy them for her sick daughter? Who looked at those packages and chose, this one stays, this one kills? He is still out there somewhere, or died, like Lewis, taking the secret with him. Or maybe he's sitting in some nursing home, watching TV, smiling whenever the news reports another panic over poison medicine. Or maybe he's reading these very words and smiling. You know what the scariest thing about this story is? Not the cyanide, not the 7 bodies, not the panic. It's that it could happen again, any moment, in any pharmacy, in any city, with any medication. All it takes is one person with a vial of poison and a few minutes to spare. And while you're reading this, somewhere on a supermarket shelf, there's a package of pills, and you will never know whose hands touched it before yours. They never found him, the Chicago Tylenol killer, the most prolific poisoner no one talks about, because his weapon was in everyone's home, and it's still there,